Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
The most grievous chastisement, most grievous. And it's clear they're guilty of that. It's clear they're guilty of that because it's clear. I mean, just ask about the message of Abrahamic covenant, right? How can they don't mention about, right? When it says we're going home, it actually tells you Arabia, between Euphrates. Yeah, some clown tries to say, well, that's America somehow. It's the Mississippi River or something. Euphrates and the River Egypt. And they never mention it. In fact, they go beyond that. They actually deny it. Say, no, they ain't going nowhere. So they're calling God a liar, openly calling God a liar right there. Because they said the first part, is us. That means it has to be us too. Be here 40 years, serve. So, be the result of it, but they never mention it. See, there's a reason, because Farrakhan, he's not seed Abraham. So this is, Eden is his home right here. That's another story. And then what about Malachi? It says clearly, the one you should be seeking is the messenger of the covenant. Elijah appeared away from him. They never mention him, not even close. And it's right there, it's clear. That shows right there, they believe in part of script and disbelieve in another. Because otherwise, they should leave the whole thing alone. They said, well, we don't believe in none of this stuff, we just deal with the Quran. They'd be better off. But they said, no. They said, those believe in part of the book, disbelieve in other. It says, what's the reward for them? The most grievous. That means they're going to get worse than the devils get. And they think that's a joke. You're going to find, oh, I can give you some hints, brothers and sisters. But it will not be pleasant. It will not be short. It's going to be, torment is not something that, we shoot somebody, it's not torment. It's just, like you may be doing them a favor. But one day they're here, and 1 second here, and 1 second they're gone. Even in the head, they never even feel it. They also they just blank out. But these clowns here, and all the rest of them, Farrakhan, it's clear they do that. I mean, that's no question here. Because even that clown on the top right, see how you weave in our scripture. Yeah, we're going to weave. Oh, boy, yeah, we got to weave for you. And they know they're doing it. They obviously know they do it. Otherwise, you just keep reading. Why they stop? Put brakes on right there. Put brakes on, that means that's something you don't want to run that wall. You put brakes on, there's something in front of you that you can hit. They don't want to hit it. Everything's smooth, you don't put the brakes on. So that's and we're talking about within days, brothers and sisters. Already you see the world's up in arms right now. It's hot. Very hot right now. If you go into social media, even in regular news, everybody's talking about World War III and everything. You never heard him talk like this before. Not in the last 10 years. You've been hearing this kind of talk the last couple of years now. And it's getting worse every day. If you're talking about the destruction of America and stuff, you never talk like this before. I'm going to tell you about this stuff is myself. I got a lot more to tell you, right? So this, the quiet for the storm. Oh, a storm is coming. That little thing that Iran did the other day, that was like a shower. Scripture said it's going to come like a whirlwind. And that's what everyone's saying. They're saying, boy, if they get into with Iran again, boy, and they just, they were just shooting blanks before. Now they can bring out the real stuff. See, understand, brothers and sisters? They cannot stop this. I keep telling you, cannot stop it. They cannot stop the spring. Winter cannot stop the spring. Cannot stop it. That's what's happening. And on that note, right? They talk about truth. They have no idea what truth is. No idea what truth is. Like I said, you're thinking two-dimensionally. And everybody got you thinking is hardly anything at all. You're thinking on the level of a beast. Think on the level of a beast. Because you're thinking two-dimensionally. Where's truth? You understand what truth is? Like, Elijah Muhammad asked Master Muhammad says, where's holy? He said a possum's holy. Possum's holy. Yeah, that's what he told him. That's the answer. See, because you're taught to think two-dimensionally. That's not, truth is transitional. Well, I don't want to use that word. In other words, the truth of the winter is not the truth of the spring. You can't tell me it's true of the spring and talk about it in the winter. That don't make any sense. That don't fit. It depends on the situation. Being in sync with the situation, that's the truth. And then be able to manage it, take control of it. That's what truth is. Understand the season, being in tune with the universe. Otherwise, explain the whole thing about, see, and this, I'm going to talk about, let me move on. I want to talk about something else. I want to show you this in a minute. Farrakhan the prophet. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Right. That's our topic. Farrakhan the prophet. Okay, let's deal with this. Now I'll get back to my subject in a minute. Let me just play this.
And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass.
See how confused you are, brothers and sisters? I'm going to talk about it in a minute. It's totally madness over there. Because they've been telling you Master Muhammad is the son of man. They're telling you Farrakhan is the son of man. And neither one of them fits that description. Neither one of them. So how's Farrakhan's mouth? Is that Photoshop?
So long till they don't know the birth record, till they just say from just antiquity. So long till they don't know the birth record, so they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong, but he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man, because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me. Who does he pray to? He prays in remembrance of him who originated that which he came in. He came in this body. You can't ignore him who originated this. Anyway, it's deep. It's a big subject. I want to say to my Muslim brothers, when I was in Mecca, I was there for 3 days.
That's enough of that. You're confused over there. See, you don't just pray. You don't pray to Master Farrakhan because he's flesh. Because he prays to somebody. You don't tell who he prays to, right? And you don't even pray to that other, because you're praying to the memory of that other thing, whatever he's praying to. Because remember, he's not. Elijah Muhammad said, God is a man. Period. If you make him other than a man, he's less than a man. But he said, no, he ain't no man. But then he is a man. Because Master Farrakhan is a man, but he ain't a man. And he prays to something that ain't a man. So if he's praying to somebody else, then they're the God, right? But they're not the man because they're not. Oh, cool. This is brain cancer. And this dummy here, all of them are dummies. Now he's gonna tell you, I'm not gonna. It's not an audio here. He's gonna tell you what God says, what God thinks. He don't have a goddamn idea what God thinks and what He says or anything. He's a fool. He's gonna tell you what truth is. He doesn't have any idea. Okay, if you know God can't do evil, how come He can't? Well, how are you gonna put restraints on what God can do? He created evil. I mean, He created everything, right? So evil created itself. Who created it? Or it turned evil when it had evil in it. Couldn't turn something had in it. So God must put in it based on what y'all saying. So how you explain it? He can't. Well, how you explain that He put the planet in control of an evil person? Adam, make men shed blood. How you explain that one? And then the one that said, I'm not going to submit to evil, he cursed that one to jinn. How you going to explain that, dumbass? Explain that one. You know so much. You don't know a goddamn thing, none of them. Explain that one. You don't know what truth is. You have no idea what God would do. You don't know. You have no idea what God would do or can't do. You have no idea what God can or cannot do. You have no idea. Because first of all, He can do anything. That being can do anything that being wants to do. Because everything came to concept from one being. All life came. So that means the pigs, the hogs, the cattle, the dogs, the rats, the mosquitoes, the roaches. Everything came out of that being. That means He had all those qualities in them, for it to come out of them. So He can be anything He wants to be. I shouldn't even say he, because it's male or female, they're equal. He didn't reach back in and pull the female out of himself. Because then if he's that, then how you explain and reproduce himself if the female wasn't there already? How you reproduce himself? Explain that one. See, all this shit just falls apart. Just like Adam. Okay, He made Adam. The man was supposed to, and then, okay, and then He decided to make Eve and put Eve out of his side. So if He put him out of his side, Eve out of his side, then what about his male parts? They're already there. Why would they be there if there was no female for it? So, and God just, I think I need to make a female. So what was the physiology of Adam then? He didn't say He changed his physiology. He just pulled her out of his side. So what do you have physiology for a woman if wasn't a woman around and God, He ain't thought about a woman? See, none of this shit makes any goddamn sense. We listen to these fools because they don't understand the story. They don't understand anything. They're ignorant as hell. And we're going to show it. Let me go ahead and finish. See, they can answer any of those questions. The angel answered all of that.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground in unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes,
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
Now after the death of his servant Moses, to Joshua son of Nun.
It's their freak show, brothers and sisters. Their freak show. Elijah Muhammad would have had a stroke listening to that stuff. I mean, they would have been burnt out. They've been thrown out so quick. Because, his son, Wallace, took over. He was officially out. He was thrown out. Right? He'd been thrown in out, but he was found, cast out. I was there when they cast him out. That was it. He was banned forever. So how do you get control of NOI? How do you get control of it? When Farrakhan was supposed to be the one in charge, he said, well, I'm for black people. I stand black. Why can God pick me? That's what he says. How can God pick me to be the one? I love black people. I give my life for them. And then when the time comes to stand up, he punked out like a little faggot. That's why I had to get rid of Malcolm. I don't have nothing good to say about Malcolm. He's a fool. But he would never be punked like Farrakhan was. They punked him. They punked him. He was supposed to be in charge. He's supposed to be the man. He's so strong. He's anointed, right? He's all this, right? And then when Elijah was departed, and he's supposed to, he didn't. He punked out the Wallace. And Wallace was officially out on time. Only reason they didn't come in to see the funeral, or whatever funeral, because they didn't have official funeral, so nobody knew what happened. But they let him come in when his father departed, and that's the only reason. He's supposed to come and go. And next thing you know, he's there. He's in charge. How did that happen? I was there. He was, and Farrakhan claimed, well, we knew it was his heart. We didn't know because he wasn't standing with Elijah. He was officially out. That's a goddamn lie. He was not standing with Elijah. I saw him standing with Father. No, you did not. It's a goddamn lie. He was officially out. He couldn't even see his own family. He was officially totally out. With his family, everybody. See? So he wasn't standing with. And then if that's the case, and you said he immediately started turning against a father, because he said we knew he had done it, but now it was stand father. I figured he'd be okay. Well, yeah, but you supposed to be the one in charge. And then he started bad mouthing Elijah right away. And started bad mouthing. We got video of it. Had this little conference, this little interview, and they put down the mask from Muhammad and everything else. And Elijah calling them that there was rip-off artists, tricksters and all this, and need to turn the Prophet Muhammad, and Elijah wasn't this, and mask from. He got both of them saying. So, and remember, he says, well, he started doing this. Okay, now if you know he admits he started doing this, and people went crazy and everything else, right? Okay. But you for the people, right? For be the shepherd. But you say you witnessed this, right? And then we got you on a thing a year, almost 2 years later. You still sitting with Wallace. And still bad mouthing him. The only reason you parted from Wallace, because once they got to handle that money, they punk your ass. That's what happened once they got their hands that money, because he was the only one that could stop them, because he was the one in charge. Put him in charge. And so the believers didn't know what was going on. They kept it quiet. They went to court. All the money was, Elijah Muhammad didn't leave it a penny to his name. Right? He owned a small business, Shabazz restaurant, a little small restaurant, 79th Street, I believe. I worked there for a little while. Here's his name. All the money was in the Nation of Islam. And they got mad. And they went to court and said, that's my father's money. And my father did his work. Farrakhan told me, shut, don't you say a goddamn thing. He didn't. Because he could have went and challenged it. And didn't tell the police what was going on. That was up behind the scenes. Once they got, because there was nobody to challenge it. So they gave him the money. Once they got handled the money, Farrakhan waited to get his little piece. He got a little piece all right? See, he got a piece of Wallace's ass. Kissed my ass, fool, and threw his ass in a ditch like a 2-bit hole. That's what he did. That's why he had to run out to Arizona trying to get back on the stage and shake his ass, Calypso. And tell him lying, Farrakhan. Tell him lying. You said you was broke, you didn't have nothing, because they punk your ass. They got the money to give you a goddamn thing, nothing. Bye. Bye, fool. And then he was going to go back and get on the stage. Tell him not to slander. You know what slander is? Slander is not the truth. See, they told me, that's what they told me, slander Sunday. Tell me, I'm slandering Farrakhan. No, I'm telling the truth on Farrakhan. Now take me to court. I'll back everything I say to him. Everything they say is the truth. Everything they say is a goddamn lie. We charge not to tell you a lie. Everything you tell is a lie. We can prove everything. No, you can't prove a goddamn thing you say, because I prove everything you say is a goddamn lie. Tell me lying, Farrakhan. I can't remember I can't remember the guys. I can't remember the actor was not Wilson Pickett. I forgot it was one actor. I think he had converted and went back. I can't remember the name. They got with him because if you went to when little because they don't really have temples, right? Study groups. And at some time, he get on and he start talk to people, and he talks about stuff like that. And he says he I can't think of the guy. And he says he says one thing. He says, well, after Elijah left, and they said listen to this stuff. You may say, how can they listen? He says, I looked up at Elijah's picture, said he didn't leave me nothing. I'm looking around at everybody. I said, no. He didn't leave me. Like, we're supposed to leave you. He didn't leave me nothing. He left you the Nation of Islam. He didn't leave me nothing. Then he said, thought about it. Why? I said, no, he left me everything. Because then he said, he was going to go back and rip off. See that guy, that Bernard or whatever his name was, Cush, whatever, he was a Wallace follower. They was pissed off at Wallace. Because when they got with Wallace, all of them turned to Wallace. They turned against the messenger. They turned against him. It's bad. I know it because my brother-in-law at the time, he was a minister in Indiana. And I got with him, I almost killed that fool. The way he was telling my Elijah, like, he was a minister. It wasn't for him, I would have all these children and stuff. There's all the bad mouths to the extreme. They're all doing it. See? So, so the thing is, they was with when Wallace jammed everybody. He wasn't giving none of that money to nobody. Only people got a piece of that money is his family. He wasn't, and that money belonged to the nation. It didn't belong to him. Them. In fact, especially not him, because he was against the messenger every step of the way. Kept bad mouthing the messenger and everything else. They tell me I'm lying, Farrakhan. See, so they got that money, they didn't get him in, and the believers again, got rid of everything. 'Cause I lived in a nation, I live in a nation complex, right? Beautiful apartments. It was in the complex. I think 87th Street, I believe it was. That was going overnight. I was the foreman in Palm Street newspaper, third shift. That was going overnight. Right? My car was financed through the nation's bank. That was going overnight. You know what I'm saying? I shopped in all the store. All that stuff was going overnight. I had to go back to AMP and that kind of stuff. They liquidated all that stuff. They got rid of the temple there and then now. They call it a mosque now. They got rid of everything and liquidated all that stuff and got that money. And then while this fool standing around waiting for the money, he said, "What you got your hand out for? You gonna wipe my ass with it?" They told the fool. Yeah, okay, you can do that if you want. You get nothing. So he said he left, right? And then somebody said he went to Cuba. I don't know about that part, but I do know he went to Arizona out there. He was trying to get back on the stage. And Master said, "No, boy, because you a bad boy. You've been saying bad things about us." We try to get back on stage. Think about that. He on the stage with Calypso, shaking his ass. And somebody, "Hey, Farrakhan! What's up, bro? Assalamu alaikum." We're cool, man. I thought you was like, "Oh, man, what are you going to say? What are you going to say in that situation?" Think about what would he say? "Man, I wasn't with that. Man, I was trying to get paid." What's he going to say? If he had got on the stage, I wish they'd let him get on the stage. And that's when got that Kushmir, and Kushmir brought him back. Because see, the thing is, they left what Wallace. They tried to get Farrakhan back. They knew they could use him because they couldn't get any money out of Wallace. If they would be imams. They couldn't be the ministers anymore. Imams, right? And imam, you didn't get paid. You didn't get no charity or anything. Imam, you had to have your regular job. He told you, we don't have jobs. White men got jobs. We don't need to be getting no jobs and all that kind of stuff. White people, that's what Wallace said. Even he said it was all to eat the pork. Because he said the reason why the Christians don't eat pork, because back then they didn't have the microwave, all kind of stuff to kill the germ. Yeah. See, you don't know what was going on back there. He was a full part of it. And so they went and got him, because they said, because if you was imam, you came on Fridays and you had your job, you came in, you did your little preaching, and that was it. You didn't get paid, you didn't get anything. And they couldn't make the money out of Wallace. They figured bring Farrakhan in, and then they could get everything going. That's why they went and got him in. It was all Wallace followers that brought him in. All the Wallace people. Bernard Cushman and all of them, they're the Wallace people. He was a Wallace guy too. He's Wallace's chief minister. That's what really happened. So he left the Belize with nothing. And some of them did go crazy. Some went back to jail. All kinds of trouble. Right? I had a lot of trouble at first. I worked myself out of it because I knew that mess was going to leave. I didn't go that deep into it, but I was going to be like that bad. Right? That's what happened. See? So he said, okay, well, I can go back and rip off the nation. That's what he's been doing. He's a multi-millionaire. And his son, too, his dumbass son, multi-millionaire. He made him supreme captain, watch over everybody. They don't have any businesses. And they haven't rebuilt the Nation of Islam. That's a goddamn lie. They ain't rebuilt a damn thing. Go over there and see. Anyway, but I'm going to play some more things. They would tell you, well, God, you don't know what God would do. Like I said, explain thing about Adam. God put a wicked man in charge. And the righteous man said, I'm not going to permit that wicked man. And God cursed the righteous man. Iblis. So explain that one. Explain that one. And if nothing happens without the will of Allah, how come he allowing us evil? If he don't know evil, he's above evil. Why he allowing it? If nothing, it has to be his will. This evil that's going on has to be Allah's will. According to you, nothing happens without the will of Allah. That means it has to be his will to do us evil. So who's doing the goddamn evil? He's doing it. That's what you're saying, ain't it? Nothing happens without the will of Allah, right? So if this happened, this is his will. So he willed this, all this evil into existence. He put an evil man in charge. So he just shut, that would be nice. Need to shut up. I promise I'm going to slow down on that F word for a while. Because somebody said, man, you can't control this. So I control myself. I'm not just saying stuff. I'm saying it for a reason. Right? But it was appropriate for them just now. It was definitely appropriate. Let me play a couple of things here, brothers and sisters. Move on. I had a lot of technical problems yesterday. One thing I couldn't, one thing after another. I'm still having them right now. I gotta keep checking because I'm not sure my sound goes out. They took my sound out last night, but I was playing a thing and one thing after another. But they can't stop this. I know they're gonna fight. There's gonna be resistance. I ain't worried about that. I expect that, right? But it's not gonna, you go to war, you expect to get shot, you expect to get wounded. You don't expect to quit and give up. Okay, let's play this, brothers and sisters.
Moses' assistant. Now after the death of his servant Moses, Now after the death of his servant Moses, the Lord spoke to Joshua son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, you and all these people, and cross over the Jordan into the land that I am giving to the children of Israel. I have given you every place where the sole of your foot will tread, just as I promised to Moses. Your territory shall extend from the wilderness and Lebanon to the great river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and west as far as the great sea. No one shall stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall give these people the inheritance of the land that I swore to their fathers I would give them. Above all, be strong and very courageous. Be careful to observe all the law that my servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so that you may prosper wherever you go. This book of the law must not depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. For then you will prosper and succeed in all you do. Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, Go through the camp and tell the people, Prepare your provisions, for within 3 days you will cross the Jordan to go in and take possession of the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. But to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, Remember what Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you when he said, The Lord your God will give you rest, and he will give you this land. 1. Your wives, your young children, and your livestock may remain in the land that Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan. But all your mighty men of valor must be armed for battle to cross over ahead of your brothers and help them, until the Lord gives them rest as he has done for you, and your brothers also possess the land that the Lord your God is giving them. Then you may return to the land of your inheritance and take possession of that which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the east side of the Jordan. So they answered Joshua, "Everything you have commanded us we will do, and everywhere you send us we will go. Just as we obeyed Moses in all things, so we will obey you. And may the Lord your God be with you, as he was with Moses. Anyone who rebels against your order and does not obey your words, all that you command him, will be put to death. Above all, be strong and courageous." Now, Joshua said.
Now, if you read this carefully, he's talking to the Levites. And up here it says, "But all your mighty men of valor must be armed for battle to cross over ahead of your brothers." That's the elect, because they got to go and take Arabia, while the Levites going to tribulation. See, but you got to read it carefully. See? And it says, "Anybody don't obey, they put to death." I keep telling you, it's not a game. It says, "Anyone who rebels against your order and does not obey your word, all that you command him." I mean, you got to be total. See, this is not a dictatorship. What it's telling you is that, let me put, doesn't Chief Hajj, not part of the body. That's what it said. The cancer cell, wipe it out. And the next verse is going to explain out a little more detail. See? Because if it's part of the body, then there's not going to be a question. I don't have to fight with my heart to see if it's going to do right. It does it. I have to fight with my lungs. If I do, that means a problem. It means it's not part of the body. See? You understand it because you told all this.
Now Joshua sent men from Jericho.
Let me see if I can. Well, let me just play the whole thing and talk about it. Let's do it that way.
Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, "Go through the camp and tell the people, Then Joshua commanded the Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Bethaven, east of Bethel, and said to them, "Go up and spy out the land." So the men went up and spied out Ai. Then they returned to Joshua and said to him, "Do not have all the people go up, have only about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and attack Ai, do not trouble all the people there, for they are few." So about 3,000 men from the people went up there, but they fled from the men of Ai. And the men of Ai struck and killed about 36 of their men, and pursued them from the gate as far as Shebarim and struck them on the mountainside, and the hearts of the people melted and became like water. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell to the ground on his face before the ark of the Lord until the evening, both he and the elders of Israel, and they put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, "O Lord God, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan, only to hand us over to the Amorites, to eliminate us? If only we had been willing to live beyond the Jordan. O Lord, what can I say since Israel has turned their back before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear about it, and they will surround us and eliminate our name from the earth. And what will you do for your great name?" So the Lord said to Joshua, "Stand up. Why is it that you have fallen on your face? Israel has sinned, and they have also violated my covenant which I commanded them. And they have even taken some of the things designated for destruction, and have both stolen and kept it a secret. Furthermore, they have also put them among their own things. Therefore the sons of Israel cannot stand against their enemies, they turn their backs before their enemies, because they have become designated for destruction. I will not be with you any more unless you eliminate from your midst the things designated for destruction. Stand up. Consecrate the people and say, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, because the Lord, the God of Israel, has said this, there are things designated for destruction in your midst, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you have removed the designated things from your midst. So in the morning you shall come forward by your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which the Lord selects by lot shall come forward by families, and the family which the Lord selects shall come forward by households, and the household which the Lord selects shall come forward man by man. And it shall be that the one who is selected with the things designated for destruction shall be burned with fire, he and all that belongs to him, because he has violated the covenant of the Lord, and because he has committed a disgraceful thing in Israel.
So what's talking about there? See, well, I'll get back to this. It's talking about, remember I told you the ones that, my demons, or some of the ones that have nature, but have spirit, the devils. One of them says you got to get rid of them. Because they're doing things that's going to cause the whole nation to fall. Because they're not in the Hajj. They're designated for destruction. You got to get them out of your midst. Because they stop me from achieving Hajj, that means you can't be successful. That's the bottom line there. It's not a game, brothers and sisters. These have to be removed, and those call them traitors, and when we call them that, they have to be removed. That's what it's talking about there. Because they was causing all kinds of trouble, and they didn't recognize it. They was doing it in secret because they didn't recognize it. You couldn't recognize the demons. Suleiman had to recognize those demons. The one spirit, it's hard to get them. That's why you have tribulation. The demons, they separate out before tribulation. It's about to happen. It's going to separate them out. But the other ones, they had to go to tribulation because they had same nature and everything. They have the wrong spirit. They cannot achieve Hajj. Okay, on this situation right here, brothers and sisters. See, this electricity. Now they talking about electricity. Like I said, I don't waste time being good. See, that's the responsibility I have, a mission I have, is to take down a certain petition. So I have to focus on these demons. Because it's really a pain because I ain't even bother with them. See? And his Levites are very difficult. But like I said, they got to pull themselves up. All I can do is throw the lifeline out. So all I can do is throw the lifeline. If you don't pull up on it, you're gone. Nobody's gonna come and go out there and swim and rescue you. They throw your lifeline. It's up to you to choose it or not. But they can talk about electricity, they have no idea about. Everything is no, it's not. Electricity, if you look at those red things, I'm just giving you a graphic. That's not exactly what they look like. It looks like numbers, and I'm just showing you the process. Yeah. Each proton has one electron. I explained how that works, but they understand that each proton has one electron. They neutralize it. And so if you have a string of protons there, each one has one electron, it's neutral. But if you take electron from one of them, like you got a string, that's where the wire is, copper wire. It's that wire is all electrons. It's copper wire is all electrons. Because that's copper wire is electrons and right, atoms, atoms, protons. Excuse me what I said. I meant protons. And so what happens if you take one electron away, then I'll say you create a current. Because this proton is going to take, remember, it's attracted. It's like a magnet. So if you take an electron away from it, it's going to pull an electron from the first available electron again, which is going to pull it from the proton right next to it. And then he's going to pull the one next to it. And so then you got a current. So you got a current going there. That's what electricity is. Period. That's what electricity is. And the battery, one side of the battery, that's what I had, the two sides of the battery. One got a little nub on it, and one got female, indent, right? And one side, right, has protons with electrons, and the other side has protons without electrons, right? And so when you put it up, you force it to start pulling electrons, right, away. You got to go into the chemistry of it. And that's how you get a circuit. You get a current there. That's what it is. Had nothing to do with this bullshit they was talking about. Had nothing to do with power. And they talk about pressure is power. Energy times discipline equals power. Electricity is a current. Now, I mean, there's power in the current, but that's not the kind of power we're talking about. The power, with powers, this battle here, the battle Prophet Muhammad had, the battle Jesus had, that battle, that's pressure, not electricity. What you're experiencing right now for me is pressure waves, not electrical waves. You're not picking up my electrical energy. The pressure waves, because the air I'm causing the air, putting pressure wave, and that now when it reach you, you translate that pressure into electrical waves in the brain. Okay. But that depends on the pressure I'm putting out. If I have higher pressure, it doesn't matter what your brain does. Your brain cannot turn low pressure into higher pressure. Right? Not directly. You have to, it's a process to generate the discipline. In other words, your brain can get you discipline, then you can change your energy. Energy time, discipline, equal pressure. So the point is you got energy, but you have discipline. And discipline does come from here. But that's not the power. That's the discipline. It all comes from here. True. The power is pressure. Higher pressure, and that's not pressure here. That's electrical here. Higher pressure, but this turns the discipline to turn your energy into power. Power, higher power overcomes lower power. They tell me this philosophy, what Jesus would do and God would do, and you got to do this, and they tell you, first they tell you, you can't pray to Master Muhammad, then you do pray to Master Muhammad, and this thing Sunday, you got to pray to Master Muhammad, because look what he done for me, man. I call on him, he does this, and sometimes he do it, sometimes he, then they tell you, Farrakhan just tell you, don't pray to him. And then you have Ishmael saying, no, well, God, Master Muhammad prays, well, then he ain't no God then. Who's he praying to? You say God is a man, so he not praying to another man. So, and that you got to be praying to a mystery God. See, the point is, if this is like, I'm telling you how much is 3 + 5. If you can't do that, then you lost. Because this is basic additional subtraction stuff. So if either you're a demon, which you recognize, but you know ain't nothing you can do about it because you're not Abraham's seed, or you're a total idiot. You're a total idiot, and we don't want you anyway. Because the point is if you fall for Farrakhan, see, you got to be careful with that, because it said everybody didn't fall for Farrakhan. It says a lot of people were there, but they wasn't with Farrakhan. It says, go with the Lord. You got to be very careful about that stuff. They're there because it's the phenomenon of dirty water is better than no water. I even told my child, I said, I'd rather you over there Farrakhan out on the street, hanging out on the street. You see? Because it said they wasn't with Farrakhan. Otherwise, it says, and you change your mind, come with me. It says, no, go with the Lord. So they wasn't with Farrakhan. You got to read this carefully. They was just there. See? And so if they were just there, that means they were seeking something. If, you know, you put it together, right? Because it said, the Lord you seek, that means, he said, Lord, you should be seeking. It don't say that. It said, Lord, you seek. So they are seeking them. There's people seeking the message of the covenant. There's somebody blocking them from seeing it. You got to read this thing carefully. It said, the Lord you seek. That means there are people seeking the message of the covenant. They're not with Farrakhan. But you got people talking about, oh, slander. They were talking about me. You can't be slandering. Slander is no good. Slander 3 times and you just, telling the truth on Farrakhan is not slander. Because anytime you open your mouth and say Farrakhan, you should just name it, cut to the chase, just name the shit. Minister shit. Because every time you think, every time it comes up shit. Every way you look at scriptures, come on shit. No matter how you look at it, even in the Quran, Moses came back and wanted to kill his dumb ass. So how in the hell you can't smell it? You got a nose problem? No matter how you look at it, it comes up shit. His father's the devil. He got a little pimp scar on his chin. Now he's incapacitated. He cursed, 55 years old, and get all his stuff cut up. Now tell me, that's your prime of your life, man. 55 years old? I'm 76. I'm going strong. 55. If that's not a curse, tell me. Any of you brothers out there, tell me, because that's not a trial. You don't recover from that. And there's not going to be any transplants. Now get a male part transplant when you get home. So you tell me that's not a curse. Tell me something that could have me worse than that. Any man that tell me something have me worse than that, that's not a curse. Not a trial. That's another point, right? Well, God knows everything, right? That's what he say. So he knows the future, he knows everything, right? You see how dumb they are? Like I said, all you got to do is add do a little extra. But nobody's doing that. And the Levites ain't doing it, apparently. Right? Because they still think it two-dimensionally. And they be very careful. Because the tree been cut down. And they don't be thrown into the fire. Because this ain't no joke. So they're telling you, yeah, this is what this fool said Sunday. Now answer me this question. If you make something, now you make everything perfect like they say, right? You're perfect, so everything you make perfect. Okay? And you can see the future, know what would do before it does everything, right? Then why do you need to try it? What do you try it for? It's perfect. You already know what it's going to do before it do. So why do you need to try it to see what it's going to do? You see how dumb they are? That's what I said. He made it. Now you got to test it to see what it would do. Well, I thought you said he knew everything. And whatever they do is his will anyway, according to you. So whatever they do is his will anyway. They can't do anything other than his will. See how dumb that shit is? They say the same crap over Sunni land. Everything that happens out of Allah's will. And every time the devil send a cruise missile up their ass and blow up in their ass, they should say, "All praise be Allah," right? Because that was Allah's will. And see, they get, yeah, well, you can anger all you want to. Because the point is, that's why you messed up, because that's why you can't produce anything, because you can't think logically, you can't think clearly. And you keep leaving that stuff out there, all you're doing is corrupting your brain to the point where you're insane after a while, then you're blowing yourself up. Because you went damn insane. What's insane? Because you destroyed the processing power of your brain. So now 2 + 2 = 22. Hell, it may be worse than that. 2 + 2 may equal 39. Because you keep playing around with your brain and you mess it up. And so now, all this crazy stuff seems normal. Now people that got half a brain can see, because you think you're doing it. The same person think they're doing everything right. Because they corrupted the way they think. They corrupted their thinking ability. And if you keep messing around, that's why the devils right now, right? I mean, they was bad to begin with. But they terrible. I mean, you listen to the media now, it's like it's off page. Because they, by 5 years, will keep doing that, keep doing it. And they pass on their children. And then their children, they say stuff that makes no damn sense to anybody unless your minds are corrupted. But it makes sense to them. So they say with a straight face. And you say, what the hell are they talking about? Because they've corrupted their brain. They corrupt their children's brain. They got 5 years of it. So that's why I said the wisdom, it's not only the fact that they got winter wisdom, but the point is their brain's corrupted anyway. They went and lying, all that kind of stuff. All it does is corrupt your brain, and you need the brain to think. Like I always tell my children when they was small, I said, drugs is a stupid thing you can do because it corrupts your brain, and then you need your brain, a clear brain, to figure out how to get off of drugs. See, that's why electricity works. What's that got to do with power? Like they're talking about. See? No, truth, what it got, truth, when you understand truth is, it's being in sync with the season and man and dealing with it accordingly. Because you can have it, don't do anything with it. And that puts, and when you do that, that means it puts you in a higher pressure state than everybody else. And so you blow away everything else. That's why prophets and ministers come in, and they don't come with an army, they don't come with tanks, they don't come with bombs, they come with a scripture. And scripture is like a gym, mental gym. And they apply it, right? Because in other words, even like Prophet Muhammad, I mean, it was like, the way I understand it, right? He would go epileptic fits because Gabriel was tuning on him and giving it, because he got the Quran. He was just sitting, all of a sudden he get a revelation. But that was Gabriel tuning in on him. See? It's like, so his mind had to be strong enough to handle that because nobody else picked it up. So the Quran was high, like it was a gym. So it was like he was forcing the gym on him, right? Like it was like, I'm dragging you to the gym every morning, it makes you lift some weights. Something like that. So now you're stronger than everybody else. And so he made it happen. He had the Quran. The Quran was, right, the truth of 1,500 years ago. Not true for now. We can use it, right, to strengthen ourselves, but it's not true for now. Because they don't know who Gog Magog is. They don't know the general. Even if they knew, they can't say it because then that exposed them. But the angel gives you everything you need to know for right now. And those supposed to be studying, they should know that, but they probably don't. But they'll find out pretty soon, because the angel is what's going to get you out of here. So they washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. That's the angel. It's a subset angel, but it's part angel. They had to get that part. That's how they had to get. They had to get the angel. They had to get that part angel. There's 3 books in there. They had to get those books. These 2 of them. To get through tribulation. You just can't get through it. You wash their robes in the blood of the Lamb. You need to understand the angel, understand what the blood of the Lamb is. I keep telling you. That's electricity. They don't know what to talk about. I got presentation. I just explained electricity, gravity, the whole thing. Right? But I'm just showing you, see, how it works. Those numbers right there. That's electrons. They don't look like that, but I'm just. It's pressure, dog. You feel me? I tell you. I taught so many brothers, boy, so many sisters. And I see sisters at the gym, they come in here and they're getting everything else right. I always help them out, though. At first, for years, I wouldn't even speak to them. They thought I was like, man, whoa. I ain't speak to anybody. Well, I spoke to the people that ran the gym. I ain't speak to anybody, right? See, but now, since we're so close and everything else, I ain't blaming the sisters. I just, right? I ain't down because I love these sisters, right? So lately, they come in there, man. They come on deck and everything else. I be helping them out. They try to lift this. Hey, I can lift for them. Hey, thank you. They look at me. They think I'd have been crazy. They say, "Could that be? You've been here for 3 years. You ain't said a goddamn thing to me." Because part of the reason why I'm nervous. I really am. Because I really feel for these sisters. I know a lot of them going to be lost. I mean, I almost bring me to tears. Because all these clowns, like those traders, these other people ain't paying attention. They got other things to do. And I love these sisters just as much as Shabbat sisters, just as much. There ain't no difference to me. Because there wasn't no difference to them when we was in the Holocaust. They didn't say Wamash. They didn't know who they were. All they knew was they was original, and the nation was being destroyed, and they was being raped and everything else. And they saw their man humbled, and they believed in you. Brothers, they believed in you. You know, they saw you humble, eating shit, pissing in your mouth and everything the was doing to you. They knew, they believed in you. One day he's gonna take vengeance. They believed in you. That's how these sisters are. They love you. They believe, even when you was in the worst state, they still. And when the master was, because they would get killed, they'd get hung, get burned up. If they had a relation with you without master's approval. Because that's what he would do. He would say, hey, you two bales of hay, 2 bales of cotton. Then you can see with Sarah on the weekend. It went like that. You remember that movie Django? He had to kill another nigga to get a night with a woman and a beer. They was telling the truth there. He had to kill another one to get that. Oh man, you deserve a night with Tilda and a beer. If you watch the movie, it was. And so a sister, when Master wasn't looking, they was saying, hey brother, who just seed in me? Who just seed in me? They want to see going. Then one day they believe. These sisters got a lot of faith. They got a lot of faith. The point is, that's why they're in the church. They're all faithful because their mind's twisting the wrong way. But that faith they put on Jesus, they put that faith. In a minute they're gonna put that faith in you. Man, they put that faith in you. And when they do, and you're gonna stand up. Hopefully, when you get your mind back, you will stand up. The problem is getting your mind back to you. Because once you get your mind back, it's all over for these devils. Because you got natural discipline. And now you got energy. See, before we had discipline, we had energy. We had to have discipline to get to the Holocaust. That's right there. You had to have a maximum discipline because the brothers didn't have discipline. They got killed. They rebelled. You had to have maximum discipline to go through all that and watch your sisters and everything, what they was doing to survive. But if you stepped out of line, you was dead. And then how's that going to save our nation? So sister said, brother, if they got caught, who do you think the children that was feeding the gators? That was the one they thought was one slave, one of the children that one slave had, the seed of a slave. That was the one that wasn't feeding their own children. They used to have the movie Django, that guy, Kevin, what his name was? It's probably his brother, DiCaprio's brother. Probably the same fox where he was so home friendly with him and everything else. He hated black people. That's what he's feeding gators to. They're feeding to gators. So the point is, that's part of it, like I said, part of the reason why you're going to Holocaust. There's two things there. Not Holocaust, I mean tribulation. 2 things there. To earn the sister's respect and lift them back up. Protect them. Under extreme pressure, protect them. And they're gonna then they're gonna respect you for that. Because you're gonna put your life on the line for them. That's why we overcome and bond again. Because we're not bonded with our sisters right now. But they still have faith in you. They still have faith in you. Okay? You don't tell me you don't love these sisters. We love these sisters. Right? But we got to prove it. And so you go to tribulation time, unprecedented trouble, and you protect them. That's the worst situation they could possibly be in. You protect them with your life. You see? So now they're gonna earn you're gonna earn their respect. And you're gonna return their dignity back to them. Because what? You just do unto them as they done to you, double. You're avenging them. That shows how much you value them. Because when you protect something that you value, the more you value, the more you're gonna protect it. And that's how we're gonna bond back together. Tribulation is Levites bond back together. Male and female. That's what I said. Male and female bound back together. It's one. Because that's what then you can't get to paradise. That's not where you're gonna be paradise. Because then you're gonna be one together. Two sides of the same coin. Because if you think you by yourself, you live by yourself. See how long that lasts. They're the other side of us. They've been separated. So now they come back together. Tribulation. And when you come through tribulation, they had to honor back because what you did to get them through, you will return, right? Their dignity, and you earn their respect. And nobody will ever mess with that black woman again because you're going to let everybody know. You know why we burn your ass up, devil? Remember you was doing our women? Because that's what you're going to say. You're going to tell them. That's why I keep telling you, I'm doing this because of sisters. I'm just because of sisters. You brothers better get ready. I told you, that's my motivation. They earned it. They suffer more than anybody. If you brothers don't make it, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make your sisters get home. I don't care. They still gotta reach a certain level, right? They still gotta do that. I mean, there's no way to get around that one. If there was a magic wand to do it, I would do it. Because sisters mean more to me than anything. That's the only thing that keeps me going. My wife can tell you that because she think I'm crazy. She don't understand. She don't understand at all because she knows somebody treating anybody treated like I do. Because I know how they used to being treated. Understand, brothers and sisters? That's what they put all this stuff together. So it's about pressure. And that's what I'm here to give you the means, the discipline. Not that shit Farrakhan talking about. See, blaming us for our condition. No. They're the reason why we're in this condition. I'm sure in a minute. That's why I say he's accused of our brothers cast out. Who's accusing us? You need to atone. You're wicked. You're sinful. Who is that doing that? He's the only one doing that. He's blaming you for your condition. We didn't. Well, you know, you got Africans that came over here on visa. We didn't come that way. We was forced over here. Eating shit and piss all the way. Raped and everything else. Raped the men too. You know how sick these people are. I want you all to get the message. But you ain't going to say my people lost for lack of knowledge. Why? Because you got people interfering. Those clowns I showed you, Farrakhan, the demons, the traitors, not to mention the devils themselves, and all your brothers, your families against you. Esau, your twin brother, Ishmael, your half brother. In a way, the demons are brothers too, ain't they? I mean, on the mother side, but I don't even want to claim that one. All my brothers and sisters. Let me see, I don't want. Okay. And see here, what I'm going to talk about here. See, I keep trying to explain how this works. Energy, in a pressure field. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. So you say energy, everybody gets the same amount of energy. That's just the way it works. Everybody gets more than another. That's how you measure energy. So you see the one on the right, that's us, right? Energy deprivation. So there's less energy on the planet now. As the universe expands, you can't create energy, you can't destroy it. So how? If all the energy out there, now where did it come from? It came from here. That means there's less energy here now. That's why you got deserts, ice caps, because the world got colder. The less energy, the colder it gets. That's what cold is, lack of energy. So you got polar caps, because under those polar caps, they find skeleton, they got plant life and everything under there. It used to be tropical places. But now the world planet's cold because all the energy's out there now. Now it's coming back. It started coming back in the 1860s. It come back probably every 50 years, right? It's momentous in the heavens and earth, but it comes all of a sudden. They don't understand what that means. That's what it means. So probably every 50 years we get it, and I can explain that. Right? So now we're being energized. We start being energized, and we broke our chains, and so forth. So we are right now. And now we're in a 50-year inflection point right now. So big change is about to happen now, like a big change happened 50 years ago. Black and I'm proud. You had the civil rights, all that kind of stuff. 50 years before that, right? You had Marcus Garvey, had Afrocentric, and see what I'm saying? And 50 years before that, right? That so-called Civil War, they ain't do it for you. That's a whole other story. But anyway, you was able to break a chain. So now this one here, and new music came with it, blues, right? Back there, 1860s, go check when the blues came out. Jazz, 50 years later. All this stuff comes from us because we're the God of the universe. It's coming from our emotion. Our emotions affecting the planet. And then 50 years later, right? I'm black and I'm proud, Motown. More energized. And now we're on a 50 year, so now new music will come out, and it's going to be victory. More powerful. Each music had you, blues didn't have you rocking, did it? Jazz had you move a little bit, and then, right? But Motown has got you rocking. What you think this going to do? Do we have music? Make it home? Hey, how you have music? We have stuff that you don't even think of right now. Because we master the universe. So everybody gets the same amount of energy. But right now, we're energy deprivation. It's a 12,000 year cycle. 6,000 years already in, that's 6,000 years out. And I'm not going to talk about that right now because I said so much stuff to talk about. Some of you might be familiar with it. But we got a certain amount of energy, right? But the point is, if you're a Lamborghini, and say you're making $100 a day, whatever, it may take you $100 a day to maintain. You don't have the money for anything else. Because it takes a lot of money to maintain. Insurance is higher, maintenance is higher, parts and accessories higher, everything is higher. But if you got a Volkswagen Beetle, maybe that Lamborghini, if you're making $100 a day, right? Maybe it takes maybe $50 a day to maintain it. If you got a Volkswagen Beetle, maybe $10 a day, so it means you got extra money. Little things. And that's what it did. That's why it made Adam, the rid of us, to a degree, image of us. That doesn't require as much energy to maintain us, because we got a higher structure. They got a lower structure. They're bleached out. Their brain is weaker. Their body is weaker. They don't have no men in them. All that stuff. So they don't need that much. Like you take a Lamborghini, you take all the options out, right? Because remember, you got to paint it. You take the paint off. Now it's white. All the options going. Don't have power steering, power windows, any of that stuff. So you get stripped down. So your insurance gonna be cheaper because somebody steal it, right? They ain't got to pay that much to recover it because it's all stripped down. You understand what I'm saying? So everything is cheaper. So that's what we did. So we had somebody that didn't require much energy. Right? That's Adam. So they would rule the planet because we didn't have enough energy to we could control anything, control ourselves, our family, anything. But they didn't take much to maintain themselves. They're Volkswagen Beetle. And that's what happened. So they gave control of the planet. Okay? So now all energy just maintain ourselves. But they don't need a little energy to maintain themselves. The rest of it, they control the world with it. But they have less discipline because they're structured. That's why he's sending prophets to them to tell them, you got to obey the law, you got to obey the law, you got to obey discipline. Otherwise, you have energy, but you won't have any power. Discipline times energy equals power. That's why he keeps sending prophets to them, obey the law, obey the law, obey the law. So now they're not getting more prophets, and their discipline is failing, and so now their power is collapsing, and they lose control. And when you lose control, what? You get violent. Get my drift? And that's why I'm going to get more violent, because they lose control. They're trying to regain control, but they don't have the discipline to do it, because they don't have natural discipline, because they're weaker structure. But we do. But now we have more energy, You don't have to have as much energy as them. Because they got $1 billion worth of energy. If you got $1 billion, but you ain't got any brains, you can't beat somebody that's got $1,000 in brains, can you? They can do something with that $1,000, and you sitting around, you just got $1 million. But you ain't gonna have it very long, are you? That's what's happening, brother and sister here. And see, this is pressure. It's not electricity. It's pressure. When I'm speaking right now, I'm putting out pressure waves, not electricity. Pressure waves. Air is pressure. Sound is pressure. Sonic, that's pressure. And that's what's getting your ears. Like an eardrum. And then you convert that into electrical thoughts, neurons. And then now you need that to discipline yourself so you can turn that energy into power. But if it's weak here, you're not. See, they have a weak brain. Like let's say there's a 6 ounce or whatever. It's just telling you they have a weaker brain, so they can't. They have a maximum amount of discipline they can have. They can achieve so much discipline. But we can achieve maximum. And that's why they want to stop us right now. The discipline. Oh, hey, let's hang out, man. Get high. Let's party. Let's go watch NFL, man. Let's go watch Jay-Z. Let's play some video games. All this about you not having discipline. Let's party. They know that. And because they have a hard time, and they because the way they set up, their people losing discipline, they have a hard time controlling the people. See, because when they came over, remember, when they was 500 years ago, they broke away. The Catholic Church would require no discipline. Catholic Church, no. All you gotta do is believe anything you want to do. You can kill whatever. All you gotta do is go and confess to the priest. You can get 3 Hail Marys or whatever. So that's how they went in the Dark Age for 1,000 years. But the Protestants, right, Lutherans, they broke away and they started applying the discipline of the Bible, the laws of the Bible. And that's how they gained power. They gained their power again. They've had it 500 years. Okay? But now they're losing because you say retracting. Now stuff that 50 years ago you wouldn't think about now. Transgender, homosexual, all this stuff is they're losing. They tell you like Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? And so angel is the most powerful weapon right now. Because I have the truth. I know how. The truth is what? Be in sync with reality. Right now, this is spring's coming in. I'm in total sync with it. I know all about it. The angel tells me all about it, right? And so that, and you apply the 5 pillars. That means you increase your pressure. It means nothing anyone can do to you. When you have higher pressure, then lower pressure cannot harm you in any way. No, it's impossible. That's why I told Joshua, don't worry about anything. All you got to is keep the law there. What do I mean? Keep the discipline. You maintain discipline, ain't nothing will happen to you. And I'm with you to make, but see, they don't talk about Joshua, do they? Because it'd be Moses, and then Aaron, who turned the people back to hostility. Egypt, he was a total disaster. Remember, he didn't make it out of the promised land. Excuse me, he didn't make it out of the wilderness. He got killed with the rest of his people. When Moses separated the people from him, those were the Lord. It was Joshua that took the people home. That's what you read. I just told you. He the one who took people home. He's the messenger of the covenant. This is pressure. The brain is the electrical part of it, right? And you got pressure here, right? Which your energy turn into power. Here's the energy out here, right? Here's the pressure. And if it makes this pressure creating other pressure, then other pressure can't touch it. Understand, brother and sister? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I guess it's some bad graphic, but no, I'm not an artist. Oh, blown away. High pressure. That's why he sent a prophet in, a messenger, in scripture, to show them that there's high pressure. But they have to get in sync with that book. They can't just get the book. He said, Lamb got the book. He had to break the seals. He had to do something with it. Problem I had to do something with the Quran. I just couldn't, well, I'm getting it. Okay, hold on for a minute, brothers and sisters. I think someone's here. Like I've been saying, brothers and sisters, mind war. Because ultimately, the weapon is the mind, because the mind controls everything. Who controls this reality? The mind. If you attack the mind, the whole reality comes apart. It's more powerful than an atomic bomb, because it takes a mind to control the atomic bombs, don't it? So if you control the mind to control the atomic bombs, you control the atomic bombs, don't you? And I show you this thing about that the devils know about these bombs. They said they know about the mother plane, because they said the mother ships scanning their nuclear plants and everything else. Because Master Muhammad would not allow there to be a nuclear war. Otherwise, we're going to inherit a radiated planet. What the hell would not want that for? So it's a mind war. Understand that. Now you take the Sunni as a for instance. See, they want to talk about the truth, right? Well, they got, you say the Quran's the truth, they got truth. How come they're not in power? How come they're not running the place? How come that run? If that's the truth, the Quran's the truth, like you say, that's definitely the truth, then shouldn't they be, since the truth knocks out falsehood, so shouldn't they be winning? How come they haven't had a victory in 5 years? Why haven't they had a victory in 5 years? Because it's not the truth. The truth right now is Adam. Because he's in sync with energy deprivation. This is his time. Time of Gog and Magog. I know his time is over now. But for the last 5 years, that was their time. And even in the Quran, even in the Hadith tell you that. It says God, I think in the Quran, I think it's in the Quran also, Gog and Magog we let loose and nobody can stop but God himself. So it said nobody can stop. It means jinn couldn't stop him, Muslim couldn't stop him, nobody could stop him. Why? So, but hey, y'all got the truth, don't you? So why is that? They was more powerful than the truth. If that's your definition of the truth, no, they had the truth. That's why Allah says they're the truth at the time. He said, I know what you know not. He told Adam things that he didn't, told Adam their names, told them things they didn't even know. You don't understand what truth is. That's why you got that two-dimensional brain, two-dimensional minds. Sunni hasn't had victory in 500 years. The devil's been kicking her ass. Yet they got the Quran, they got the Bible, they got all that stuff, right? All the trappings. But they don't have Islam. The Arab Sunnis are the only people only nation on the planet that totally reject all Adam's culture, all of it. Religion, economics, social, all of it. So they're the jinn. I ain't submitting to Adam. They've been at war getting their ass kicked, blowing themselves up and everything else. So you don't understand what truth is. Right now, the injury is the truth. True mind is the truth. Because he has an injury. He don't just have it. He says he had opened and break those seals, made these things happen. So that's the high pressure. Remember, high pressure overcomes low pressure. So whatever happens in low pressure field, you have to say, do I have to really say this? When you say this? Whatever happened in low pressure field is because of the high pressure field. So whatever happened in the world right now is because of the angel. That's why it says he broke the seals and this happened to happen. Everything happening in low pressure is because of what the high pressure. High pressure is caused what, and not just the amount, the quality. It ain't just telling you these things happen, it's making these things happen. High pressure overcomes low pressure. It's a high pressure mind. Now you say, well, you tune in. When you tune in, that's not electrical either. No electricity must meet to another person. It's vibrations, and they translate into electrical, but there's no electrical field between me and somebody else's brain. Tuning in is not electrical. The result, once the brain gets it, but the conduit, right, the process is not electrical. If you tune somebody, means an electrical bolt that goes from your brain to theirs? No. I'm leaving alone, brothers. Problem is, high pressure overcomes low pressure. So what having low pressure does is a result of what every action has an opposite equal reaction. It's a result of what the high pressure is doing. That's not just the quantity, but the quality. That's why it says, well, open this seal, this happened. Open this seal, happened. Try to get you to understand these things, bro. So I really need to say that. Because I did. And for the word of God is quick, powerful, sharper than a two-edged sword. Did you read the other one? I didn't read it. Out of his mouth goes a sharp sword. He smite the nations with his mouth, not with atomic bombs, not with knives, not with guns. He's smiting them with his mouth. And right now, they smite you with their mouths because that's why they got all this media and everything going to confuse you so you never get a discipline. They obtain higher pressure, then you see them and affect them and cause, affect what they're doing, control them. Right now, you've been controlled by them because their pressure's higher than yours. They make sure you never gain, your pressure never gets greater than theirs because when they see that happening, they don't get rid of you. That's their plan. It's not going to work that way. Okay, so those few things on close, brothers and sisters. Adam and Eve, Adam and Eden. See, Eden, they say Eden. See, you got to read carefully. Say, he put him eastward of Eden. He said he put him in the east. He said Eden was in the east. He said he put him eastward in Eden. Then wherever Eden was, Adam would be planted on the east side of it. Eden is America, and when they came here, that's where the plant, the tree and everything. That's us. Everything was right here. But where they settled at on the east coast of America, that was the original colonies. Okay? And he said he spoke in parables, and I'm not going to explain it yesterday, right? That's our language. Arabic is just a grammar. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So was our language is poetry, like the Quran. The Quran says some words are decisive, some allegorical. Because we speak in poetic words, and our language is beautiful, but Arabic is just a grammar, right? And so, like when I read the English like I read a regular paper or something, because I'm on that level, but you don't. but you're still on a two-dimensional level. And so you still read on the level, surely on the level of a kindergarten. But we get home, that's what we speak. The pure language doesn't mean Arabic. It means Arabic is the grammar of truth. The way, because that's Israel. That's what the Bible. You talk. It says, look what it says here. And all these things he spoke to the crowds in parables. He did not speak anything to them without a parable. The only way he spoke was parables. Period. That's where we speak. Parables usually have a key. Angel is a key. So in other words, you want to speak certain things, relate to a key. And then you know, so if you want to talk about maybe just economics or whatever, right? But there's a key that applies to mathematics, I mean economics. And once you learn that, then it's like anything, right? You got to learn the alphabet. You got to learn all the different things and speak so-called English, verbs, nouns. So when you speak allegorically, because how do you understand it? If you speak allegorically, you got to have a key to understand what they're talking about. In fact, the key to the Quran is the angel itself too, because you can't find what the golden calf is in the Quran. You can't find what the jinn is in the Quran. All that stuff is right there. You can't find what God can make God. You mentioned them there, but you can't find. It's also the key to all of it. So we have keys set for different scenarios, and it relates to that, and then everybody know what we're talking about. But you won't be talking straight prose like I'm talking now. You're talking like he's like an angel, right? They say talking, right? They say, well, you're trying to figure out what it's saying. But once you get there on that level, you have to figure out what it's saying because that's you're going to understand it right off. Anyway, move on process. It's like a primer because it's going to be much more complicated when you get home. Islam is mathematics, Islam, but you can have access to the whole universe. Let me say one thing. I haven't mentioned this. You got a thing called the what's the name of that thing? Van Ryan belt thing called Van Ryan belt. Let me get this right, bosses. Van Ryan belt. I should be closing out in a minute, bosses. Van Halen. Oh man. Let me get this right. I think it's Van Halen. Am I the same name of it? Oh, come on, this is crazy. Oh, okay, I can't. It's stupid. And something. Yeah, the Van Allen belt. There's asteroid belt, and it's they says between I think Mars, Jupiter. I'm not sure. I think between Mars, Jupiter, something anyway. But we put that there. So why we put that there? But see, the thing is that we're gonna have ships that move the speed of thought. Because you can't, the speed of light, we can never get. It says the God is wise as the heavens and the earth. Right? That means we spent 72 trillion years building the universe. We got trillions of planets out there. The Bible says we're gonna occupy. That's what the God is wise as the earth. So some of you are gonna live on some of those planets. Some of you will be gods of those planets. Right? But we're gonna inhabit all those planets. And they're already habitable. All's already prepared. Right? Once we get out there. But we have ships go speed of thought, 24 billion miles per second. Right? And it's a lot more complicated. You can't just go anyway. The bottom line is that if you move it that fast, even if a penny moving that fast, if a penny was moving that fast to the earth, it would cause catastrophic, because kinetic energy, if you understand physics. A penny moving that fast hitting the earth would cause catastrophic harm to the earth. I don't know what split the earth, but it would be worse than an atomic bomb, I tell you that. Right? So the thing is that we're moving that fast. And so we know we had scientists back in the past that tried to blow the earth up. They didn't use dynamite. See, the reason I lied when I said dynamite, because at the time that Matt Farrakhan told him that was the highest explosive he knew about. He didn't know about atomic energy. They didn't have atomic energy back there. They didn't have atomic bombs. High explosive was dynamite. And there's no way in the world you have enough dynamite to fill the whole universe. You couldn't blow the earth up. It just ain't powerful enough. Where you gonna put it all anyway? But that's the most powerful explosive knew at the time. Come on. So anyway, the thing is that you had a scientist try to blow the earth up, but he used atomic nuclear power. And it's nuclear power in the lessons. Let me talk in a minute. I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm not saying exactly right. But it says one scientist, he cracked the atom into 10,000 parts, maybe 10 million parts, whatever. How much did a cracked atom weigh? He was talking about cracked atoms before there was no anything about cracking atoms. Remember the 30s, look, they ain't know about cracking atoms. He's talking about cracking atoms, splitting atoms before the devil was writing the lessons. That's where he got the idea from the lessons. And if you know anything about physics, weight and force is the same thing. And when you talk about gravity, you just call weight, force, weight. They're exactly the same thing, weight and force. In other words, weight is how much force you're putting on the floor. They're the same thing. So if you change the things to how much force does a crack atom weigh, you're talking about a nuclear explosion. It's right in the lessons. It's right there. Anyway, we had a sign to try to believe, right? So the thing is, somebody, for whatever reason, right? If someone can't come back here from outer space, from way out to another planet, spirit thought, and they try to come, and they got angry or something, and want to crash to the earth, they couldn't do it because they had to go to the Van Allen belt, asteroid belt. If they hit anything in there, it's going to cause destruction of that belt, but it's going to tear them to pieces. And with that speed, hit something, anything. I tell you, if you hit a dime, if a dime is going, penny going at speed of light, 24 billion miles per second, it's going to cause traffic damage. But what if you're moving towards it and you hit a penny? It'll be the same effect. It's just the opposite. You hit it the same sense they hit you. So that's why we put it there, so no one could hit the earth. That's no story. I leave it alone. Anyway, I open my mouth in parables. I'm just trying to tell you the language hereafter. So we spoke in parables. I'm speaking angel, but I can't talk to the angel to you because you understand what I'm talking about. Because you understand the angel. I just in roundabout ways. Okay, this is the key, but I'm not going to, bro. Since I'm moving on. 'Cause yeah, I got to move on. Okay, let's talk about this. You think you're the God while there's never, you see this and all there here, this is the language. Now this is where you would talk and hear after you say, you think you enter the garden while there's not before and your lack fell those passed away for you. The stress and affliction fell them, they were shaken violently. So the messenger, those who believed him, said, what help will I come? Help should help lies not. He said, a little verse right there said, well, what was it saying? It's saying the whole angel message, almost all of it. That little thing right there. If you just knew that, you ain't need all other stuff. Okay. You're not in the garden. The garden is where your nature is, where you're happy, your paradise. So you're not there. Because you want to enter there. That's where your desire is. Right? But it's something, but if in order to do that, right, you got to go through stress and distress and affliction and everything else. So who's going to be doing that? Who's going to be causing the stress and the violence? Who's going to be causing the violence? What? Popeye? The moon, the sun? Somebody's going to be causing the stress, affliction, and violence on you if you try to go into that garden. That means they're the ones keep you out of the garden. Someone's keeping you out of the garden with the threat of if you try to go in there, you're going to have stress. That means you're under pressure. You're being oppressed with that threat. You're not in the garden or wherever you are. You are oppressed there because you ain't happy there because you're outside the garden and there's somebody keeping you in by violent means, dress and everything else. That's the threat of it. That's what it says right there. And violence. See? So it means you're going to have to go through that. That's what you're going to have to deal with them. You have to suffer that. You have to deal with them. You have to fight with them to get to the garden. And then it says, when help will I come? So wait a minute. He ain't helping you on that because you got to go through that. That help is not nothing to do with that because you got to go through that. If it was, then you would have to go through it. He was saying help. That means you would have to go through stress and affliction. He would take care of them. No, you got to go through that. So then what's the help? Personal help then? Because if you go there and you're in the garden, what you need help for? Because you got to get to the garden after you get through that. That's the power of transportation. That's Master Muhammad. You see all that tells you right there if you read it? All that tells you right there, the whole process. That's a little bit right. That's where we talk. I can read it carefully. You never even saw that. You never paid attention to it. I've been talking about this for years. Even I've been talking about it quite a bit lately, and nobody they didn't see it. They didn't make it. They didn't register with them. That's what it's telling you right there. That'd be where we naturally talk. And everybody want to say, "Oh yeah." Okay. That's our situation right now. We want to get to paradise. The devil's holding us back, and they're gonna kill us if we try to get there. That's what it's saying. And once we get through, get past them, right? Then we need transportation to get home. All that right there. Those couple of sentences. And here you go, right here. See. Here we are, had the 40 years. We here, we want to get here. But they look, see, if we whoop your ass, we beat you. Yeah, we're under pressure. That's what we have to go through if we want to get here. Back here. Another way to look at it. Now we try now see, remember, but to do that, you had to come to protect yourself, you had to come to the army. You have to organize, achieve Hajj. Because the military, you achieving Hajj. See the great army, that's Hajj. Because you have to achieve Hajj to have unity like that army, military. Military discipline, working together. So you have to achieve Hajj. See all that's in there? So that's why you come together, see the great army. Because they're attacking you, trying to stop you from getting out of here. To get into the garden, that's a threat. So now when you do it, boom. See? So now you're a street great army, you're fighting, trying to be protecting your women. You're fighting. And then after you finish, get through all that, then you need transportation, get back here. Look, see, now you're home. See, he drive transportation, right? He gave you the means, information you need, right? Look at another way. Here we are. Before we came here, they beat us. They beat us into this situation. Farrakhan blame us. No, they beat us into this. Remember the movie when they beat Roots, where they beat him. You Toby, you ain't Cootie Kinsey no more, you Toby. So they beat us. Once they beat you, they ain't happy with you now. See, they fist bump you now. Hey bro, hey bro. This devil call me hey bro over there. Look at me, you ain't your bro. Hey bro, hey, yeah, cause now you doing it. You like you what they want you to be like them. They ain't your brother. Like as long as you do what they want you and everything, fine. You got a tiger or lion. As long as they obey you, right? Then it's fine. As long as they train. But they start growling, man. You got to put them down. So now, yeah, they come with you now. You're a Christian, right? Named Jamie Nickelbobber. You're working on their plant. You working their plants for them, making money for them. You're raping your women. Now they happy with you. Now you get along with them, but you ain't happy. That's not you. So here's your nature here. They ain't took your nature away from you. They took your mind though. Got women running out naked. They talking about them niggas in Africa, man. They run out naked. Look, you see these women here lately? And now you try to get back. Nah, man, I'll blow your brain. You better get back. Get back to you, Cassius. You Muhammad Ali now. You better get back to Cassius Clay quick. Better get that cross back around your neck quick. Get back over in Popeyes quick. Okay? That's why they had to bring Farrakhan on, set nation back. That's what it did. You got Scientology and all that kind of stuff. Now they set it back. That's Farrakhan did. He set it back. He didn't set it forward. He set it back. And control the devils all over again. Who you paying rent to? Where you shopping at? It's because they call you Muhammad X. Oh boy, I tell you. Yeah, see, hey man, no, you can. We got to beat you. We're gonna send you back. You ain't going forward. Get back to Michael Nickenbobber and Jamie Colbutt. Quick. Okay? So you gotta have a great army to protect yourself. Then you get past that. That's why I'm gonna take you home. Then you're home now. Okay? Once you're home, you don't need a sleep army no more. Then you're back. And Joshua got you back, Mr. Covenant. That's why I'm your king, your God. Got by transportation. That's exactly what happened. Then you're back. And your woman, well, she's beautiful, more beautiful than ever. And she ain't walk behind you. She's right you side by side. It's supposed to be. Look at this. Another trick. Employee. Here you are right here. Here in the field. Getting caught. Got a mule to get you back and forth. And like I said again, this house is nothing like you had. Using a little container. Right? If you had like you'd been in a mansion, no beds, nothing. I know, I seen them. Anyway, say for instance you had this. Here's your slave master. Hey nigga, I tell you what, man, you ain't a slave no more. I'm gonna make you an employee. So I'm gonna give you a paycheck. Now you can pay me rent for that house over there that I was giving you for. You can buy your chillings from me, right? And you can pay for that mule, getting you back and forth to the fields, right? And no more tasks, man. I'm gonna give you a supervisor. You buy your own clothes. Okay, then he pay you. But you ain't got enough money to pay for all that. See? Because he gonna tell how much he pay you. And you work 8 hours a day. Oh man. So I need to work 16 hours a day to pay for all this. Here you go. Now you're back in the field. You work 16 hours like you was before. Pay for it because they set the prices, remember? So you back in the field again. He said, I still ain't making enough because they set the prices. Okay? Still ain't enough. So what you got to do then? Right? Make ends meet. Got mom out in the field. Exactly. But now I ain't a slave no more. I'm an employee. See, I got my own meal, got my own place. You understand me? I got a supervisor. I'm getting paid. Wife getting paid. See, play with your mind. Same thing as before, but they mess your mind, so now you think you're free. Because it must be something like that was going on, because Harriet Tubman said that she could have freed more black folks if they knew it was slaves. So they didn't know it was slaves. So what was the slave man doing in their mind? They didn't realize they were slaves. Maybe something like that. Then she said they didn't realize they were slaves. They thought they were going through all this. So let's look at modern day times now, because we in the industrial age right now, right? Here you are, working on your plant. Okay, or we won't call it plant, we'll call it factory now, right? It's called plant, right? Why? You're your supervisor. Get your car to get you back and forth to your rental. Right? Here's your rental here, and ghetto, whatever. Right? Getting paid. You got enough. How much it costs to maintain stuff? How much it pay you? Oh man, I gotta work 8 hours ain't enough, man. I gotta work overtime. Pay for that car. I'm renting it. I mean, I'm leasing it or whatever. Car note. Pay my rent. Buy my clothes and food. I gotta work overtime. Oh man, still it's bad. Okay, I gotta put mom out there, put on Popeyes. Now we can make ends meet. Remember, they decide how much the money's worth. They control that shit. I keep telling you, they control that situation. They paid you enough. You wouldn't have to. They control it. They set the price and things, how much you get, so they know exactly how they control you, what you can do, what you can't do. So now you got to work overtime, and you got to put your wife out there, Popeyes, whatever, and the supervisor's gonna make sure you're doing your work. We handle all that crap when we came here. And the bottom line, what's the difference? What is the difference? You're still a slave. There's trick your mind. Employee is still a slave. Still a slave. That's the difference. Well, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm close out promised land. Just see Abraham. It tells you right there. It says between River Euphrates and the Egypt River. So I tell you exactly. That's where we're going. But they don't talk about that. Farrakhan. Why? Because that's for the seed of Abraham. Misfollows the devil. So what was their promised land? That's where he wanted to be, right? Their promised land. Well, that's America's their promised land. I say there was east of Eden. Eden's America. Eastwood was the colonies on the west side of it. This is their promised land. That's why he don't want to go anywhere. We're the ones making it paradise for them. Remember my song he made? A white man's heaven is black man's hell? Because we the ones making it paradise for them. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? It's like between plants and us. We breathe in air, oxygen, and breathe out carbon dioxide. They do the opposite. They breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. So if both of us we need each other. It's like a male and female need each other. Because if all the plants died, we would die because nothing to produce oxygen for us. If we all died, the plants would die because nothing to produce carbon dioxide for them. Right? So what happened here is, right? Because manure and like stuff, that's just fertilizer. Right? But also that's where they fed us. So we go out here and we work hard to make cornbread and biscuits and pies and all that stuff for them, right? And they eat that stuff up, they shit out, and they give us shit to eat. That's what we've been doing for the last 400 years. Eating shitlings, that's what they call it. That's some pretty see there. They're that stupid they think we are. That's what it is, shit. And so we producing the gold for them, that's where they won't let us go. Because we stop. Then we leave to go, then all the guys are shit. And so America turns back to shit. Because that's how it turned Europe into shit. When Africa was very prosperous, rich and everything else, all the countries was prosperous except the Europeans. Because that's what they don't know. They turn everything to shit. Because they pigs. Beasts. But because they beasts, I mean they want to live in a pit, right? So the point is they brought us over here and we take the shit they give us and produce gold for them. And if we leave, they return back to the shit. And we go take our gold with us. But they want to keep you here. Farrakhan say, yeah, we can't go nowhere because he's got rich off of the Nation of Islam. I say he's robbing the Nation of Islam. He's a multimillionaire. How did he become a multimillionaire? He don't have a business or anything else because he's robbing the Nation of Islam. He ain't produced a goddamn thing. His son's rich too. What did they produce? Nothing. So I'm leaving it there, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand.